Alright, the AristoCrapist has made another video. I deleted his last response video and, well, I removed it as a response and I blocked the fucker. He came back with this communist crap again. Apparently he doesn't know the difference between communism and socialism. The worst you can call me is a motherfucking socialist, alright? I've made more than one. I've made dozens of videos eloquently speaking about the necessity of democracy, and then anything that it's done has to be done by the people. We have to win the fucking argument, and that's the way you do it, alright? Period. So fuck you and that accusation. It's cheap, slimy, it's just bullshit. Alright, so I'm just gonna, instead of calling what you're talking about capitalism, I'm just gonna call it monarchyism. Monarchy, okay? That's all it is, it's monarchy. Alright? Because that's just it. It's just give all the money to the rich. Let the 1% control the fucking world. Let them have a birthright to it, just like the nobility, just like kings, queens, emperors. That's all you're advocating. Alright, so and don't make me this argument that the people are happy with the system that exists. What a crock of shit. The people aren't given a real democracy to even voice their fucking displeasure with the fucking system. So fuck you on that score too. The argument certainly isn't over, and as your capitalism falls down on your motherfucking head, really, there's times where I say, yeah, well, you goddamn well deserve it. People like you deserve it. All right. You get a pitchfork. I'm not gonna cry for you, Argentina asshole, because you are the kind of bastard that just get that. You're the assholes that have ruined planet Earth. You're stupid, maniacal. Greed is good. Greed makes people do the right thing. Idiotic, moronic, infantile philosophy. I mean, it's just, bleh, I mean, it's just puke. Your philosophy. It's just literally puke. All right, so let's go through the points that you can't seem to understand. So let me make it clear for you. They have this thing, doctors. They have to buy this malpractice insurance. Who the fuck do you think pays for that malpractice insurance? Are you going to make the argument to me that doctors pay for it? That it comes out of their blood and bone? That their salary is reduced by the amount of the malpractice insurance? Or is the more logical explanation that it ends up being a consumer's problem? So the consumer is essentially a tax on medical care, and the consumers inevitably have to pay it. Which one is the more reasonable explanation? All right, it wasn't just the court cost I was talking about with bankruptcy. It's not the cost to the courts. That's the minor cost, the court cost. It's the fucking lawyers who first scrape off 30% of the assets left in a company, and then after that the creditors get the people who did business with the other business, the people who have been ripped off by the bankruptcy. They get 25 cents on their dollar, 5 cents on their dollar. Okay, they get fucked literally, and that becomes the price of doing business. Okay, because to do business you have to give companies credit, you have to play the game. And that becomes the cost of doing business. The consumers pay for it. And that was my goddamn point. It's the cost of doing business. The goddamn people who own the company aren't paying the bill. Okay? And the other company that lost the money, it doesn't come out of the executive salaries. It doesn't come out of the highest paid employees. It doesn't even come out of the shareholders. It comes out of the fucking consumers. And you goddamn know it. I mean, what? You're going to tell me that a business tax doesn't come out of the consumers? That the business pays those taxes? Bullshit. You know better. I mean, there's no fucking way you make that argument, I bet. I mean, you're just such a slimy fucking piece of shit to even have to argue this crap with you. So that's the fucking safety net, okay? Bankruptcy is the motherfucking safety net. That's how they escape motherfucking liability for the reckless behavior. All right, and it has been, the bailouts have been done before. There was a savings and loan bailout, and it was bullshit that we made money on that. We did not make money back on that because the money we got back was worth less than the fucking money we put out. So that's another fucking pile of shit lie. So it's just, you're just so full of shit. And so anyway, I don't want to control the economy, only in the sense that it's controlled in these non-profit businesses. If another business can compete with one of those, oh, let them go ahead and try, okay? But I'm going to tell you, they're not going to stand a fucking chance, okay? Because the government business run without government unions running it, okay, is going to be damn efficient, okay? No Learjets, no bullshit, no nonsense, you know, paying competent people a fair wage. That business is going to be so successful and so efficient that there's no fucking way your capitalist waste system is going to be able to compete with it. So there's no, it's, you know, but sure, I wouldn't stop. If you can figure out a way to be more efficient than that business, go ahead and try. But you're not going to be able to do it. You just, you know, and it has nothing to do with, you know, controlling everything. It has to do with rules, okay? Every game a human being can play has fucking rules. The game is defined, all right? And the rules exist for one reason: to make the game coherent, to make it fair. This system is idiotic. Like I said, how do you justify having this race for life, this contest, this capitalist game, and then saying that you're going to give people gigantic head starts, and then say, you know, fire your little gun and say go, and then sit there and wag your stupid motherfucking prick finger at people and say, well, you couldn't compete. How the fuck can somebody compete with other people who are already across the fucking goddamn finish line? I mean, it's such a fucking cheat, and for you not to admit that. You know, look, and when it comes down to it, you know, all you have to do is do one of these things. I mean, I say do all of them, but look, if you just eliminated excessive inheritance tomorrow, you would end a lot of the liabilities of capitalism, because at least you wouldn't sit there and make it legacy. You wouldn't make wealth legacy. You wouldn't give people ownership, birthright to it. I mean, that's just bullshit to give people birthright to control of the economy. It's insane. It's insipid. It's nonsense. There's no economic theory in the world that can make that make fucking sense. They don't have to produce any fucking productive work, and they get to control the goddamn economy? What fucking sense does that make? It makes none. It's like I said, nepotism is good family policy. It is not social policy. It's insane as social policy. Alright, so yeah, if you just did that, I'd be satisfied, because that inevitably at least is going to take care of the excessive wealth, and it's going to prevent the legacy problem. It's going to prevent the unproductive fucking spawn of the rich owning the goddamn world. I mean, it's no fucking sense to it. And the money will have to get back into the economy. It won't have any fucking place else to go but back into creating incentives for real working people to do more work, because the money won't be in the hands of some asshole who's going to sit there and build himself a giant mansion and hire people to waste their effort and their sweat to gold-plate his motherfucking toilet. I mean, god damn it, it takes all the waste out of the goddamn system. And but I think it makes more sense just to limit the goddamn collection and accumulation of the wealth in the first place. Nobody needs these preposterous amounts of money, and there isn't anything special about how capitalists invest. People can make those decisions in groups. They can make decisions as towns, they can make decisions as counties, they can make decisions as states, and we can make decisions as a collective of the people. And there's nothing stopping our judgment from being superior to that bullshit judgment, that greed judgment. Well, you know, there's nothing whatsoever. So fuck you and your accusations. Fuck you after all these videos. For you to make that kind of slimy goddamn remark was just such fucking bullshit. I mean, to go right back to the same goddamn well and pull that word out when you have nothing to base it on. Not one goddamn time in all of my 1,000+ videos have I ever talked about creating a dictatorship and you know, and imposing anything on the people. Anything other than a democracy, you motherfucker. So look up the word communism, look up the word socialism, and try to and recognize the distinctions between these economic philosophies, you motherfucker. So anyway, so again, and I would argue your argument that the majority is happy with this system is idiotic. People hated monarchy, okay? They did. They really did hate it, okay? They had revolutions against it. And all they have to do is recognize that that's exactly where we are again. We are right back to where we started. We're back in a monarchy again, okay? 1% of the people have as much wealth as the bottom 90%. This is a monarchy. There's no fundamental difference, except instead of you know, a king, you have, well, you know, 1% of the people controlling the goddamn world. I mean, that's the bullshit here. So fuck you. You lost the goddamn argument. So come up with something a little bit better. And like I said, you know, why shouldn't people be liable for the mess? Like I said, the mess ends up in the consumer's hands, the people's hands. Whether it ends up in their hands through government action, or it ends up in their hands through businesses passing the expenses on to the customer, it ends up in the customer's fucking hands. It ends up in the people's hands, and it should end up in the risk takers' fucking hands. They're the ones talking about their goddamn risk taking. They're not taking responsibility for their risk taking. Fuck that.